Epic player of the week, a player who makes big time plays, who has an epic performance, who just woke up and went hard, a player that rewrote the narrative. Here on the On Your Mark show, sponsored by Epic Sports Apparel, we had an epic player of the week, Jaden Burnett, big time linebacker, rush in for the Nolan Catholic High School out of the DFW area, one of the top private schools in the state of Texas, man. This young man has been doing this for about 3 years now. We're going to talk to him. Talked to him the other day, got a chance to watch practice and drop off a little present to him, man. And I'm going to get you caught up on this young man. You need to know him. He's got some big time ability, man. And we're going to talk about his season so far and his the Nolan Catholic Vikings still playing after Thanksgiving. That's what you want here. It's cold now. If you still practicing and when it's cold and you still doing things like that, you're on the right path, man. So I'm gonna bring in my guy Jaden, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great.
Man, thank you for joining me here on the On Your Mark show. Now let's talk about the knack you have for being a great pass rusher. You're one of the top pass rushers, in my opinion, in the area, probably in the state. You've been doing this for about 3 years over at Nolan Catholic. What makes an elite pass rusher, in your opinion?
First things first is getting off the ball first, making sure that looking at the ball, get off before the ball or either as soon as just the ball. That's always what I've been told since I ever started playing defensive end. That's what my dad always told me and my coaches told me. And also after that, you're studying the alignment to like read, see what he's gonna pass it or down block, and then from there, you already have your move made up in your mind. You just execute it.
Well, it's definitely showed that one of the things I think you just said was your step, your first step, that initial step, and also keys to watching what the O lineman does. You know, you kind of pick up on those things after you start going in the first couple series. You also have a great burst and speed that you have. Explain to everybody how that works in your advantage as well.
It works in a lot of ways, not even just on defense, just special teams too. It's just basically like get you an edge and advantage over your opponents. Because if I can get off fast enough, that gets the O lineman off edge, and I just push them over, basically.
Now, you mentioned special teams. Now, if you don't know, this young man is a block artist, so to speak. He blocks field goals. He blocks kicks. He had three. He had three forced fumbles last week, also that led to a touchdown in a victory in the playoffs for Nolan Catholic. And he also leads. He has the most in school history. He didn't know that, but I told him that here a few minutes ago before we got started. What are some of the things, the keys that help you be successful in blocking a kick?
Uh, I would say a coach, my old coach, special teams coach Jordan Pugh. He told me to make sure you stay tight to the ball, make sure you get a great get off, and make sure you just stay tight and lay your body out, and you'll be there.
Well, you definitely do it, man. I mean, you guys were down 10-5, I believe, going into the third quarter, which you guys hadn't really been down too much, but you guys kind of have a cardiac mentality. You're never out of a game in the Nolan Catholic season this year in 2020. But you help your team get started kind of on a roll, and you being a leader, being a senior, how is that important to have that kind of leadership to develop? This season you guys are on a roll, man, undefeated so far.
It's definitely important because we have to keep everybody on track, make sure everyone's doing their job, holding each other accountable. It all started in the summer. We all come together, made a common goal, stayed as our final goal, and that's what we want to get.
Well, definitely you're on your way, man. Semifinals. You're facing one of your rivals again, All Saints. The second time you guys have played this particular year. It's going to be a Globe Life, big stage. How's the team feeling this week? I had a chance to watch practice a little bit this week when we visited earlier this week. The team seemed pumped and ready to go, having a lot of fun. Even though the weather's cold, you guys were, bouncing around, having a great time. Talk about that a little bit this week in preparation for All Saints.
So our preparation for All Saints really was to go back to the fundamentals and make sure we know everything right, make sure everyone knows their key, know where to be, and when the play goes, make sure you're in the right spot. Basically, just going back to fundamentals, you and staying focused.
Well, definitely, man. You guys had a great practice. Talked to Coach Bowden a little bit about that as well, and he had a great message for you guys. after practice. And then you guys went and got really spirited in the weight room, man, just hype. What has Coach Bowden's message been this week? And what is that camaraderie that you guys have in that weight room that gets you guys so live?
So Coach Bowden always talking about focus this whole week, whole week. That's all he talks about is focus all the time because that can definitely win us the game. And then in the weight room, there's a thing called a beefcake. It's basically everyone yells out one, two, and you just keep repeating and repeating. And like if somebody's not doing it, if they're not selling out, then we got to keep redoing it over and over till the whole team's selling out.
Well, definitely, man. I had a chance, like I said, the other day when we met and talked for a little bit. That was a spirit that I hadn't seen a weight room like that in a little while, man, and I thought that was great. It seems like that's a key to the Vikings' success. Now, you being a senior, you want to finish this year strong. Last year, you guys made it to the playoffs, but kind of had a sour taste in your mouth from losing early on in the playoffs. How streamlined has you guys' focus been this year as a team?
It's definitely, I would say it's definitely different than last year. This year, I say that we do have more leaders this year on the team. Everyone's making sure everyone's staying in line, like I said. But basically, it's just all about focus this year. That's what we relied on mostly this year, just focus, 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 focus.
Well, focus is a great word, and I can tell by you guys' play that you're focused as a team. Now, let's talk about some of your other brothers on defense. In my opinion, you guys have some of the best defensive linemen in that front seven. You got some dogs in the back. I think one of the most underrated guys on your defense is Jackson
Yeah,
Reed. Man, it's like they try to test him every week, and he shows up. Now, he might be not the biggest, but he has to me he has the biggest heart anybody on that defense, and he's a
for
dog
sure.
to me. If I think if he was a lot bigger, we'd be talking about him being one of the top corners, in the state. But talk
For
about
sure.
some of those other guys on that D that have been helping you guys out this year.
Collectively as a team, everyone does a great job. From Curly Thomas helping me on the edge, Caleb James and Mannyville getting pressure up the middle to get a team sack. Then you have a linebacker and Vincent Page that does the work, is all the tackles, make sure everyone's in our right spots. Then you have our DBs. We have Trail, Gerald, Keith, also Kel Ross that comes in, Nico Moore's other players. We just play collectively as a team.
Definitely, man. Again, this is one of the top teams that Jaden plays for, Nolan Catholic Vikings. They're right now still in the playoff hunt for a state title. They're trying to chase that ring, man. And this is the epic player of the week. He had an epic performance last week. Three forced fumbles, four tackles, three assists, a block punt for that got recovered for a touchdown to ignite a win that the Vikings really needed. These guys are undefeated, and this is one of the top pass rushers in our area. Now, let's talk about where you're going to school at. Let everybody know where you're going um, first, and then talk about what made an impact on you to select this school.
So I'll be going to Louisiana Tech. The biggest impact I think would be the family feel. They really like when I took a virtual tour and literally like the whole coaching staff was on there. I talked to high school. I talked to them for over months through the recruiting process, and it was just a family feel. Honestly, all the coaches were honest, true. I felt that way myself. I felt it was a deep connection between the family part and the football part. And I just thought it was also a great education.
Well, man, that's a great look. The La Tech Bulldogs, man. And then you won't be far from home. Ruston's maybe 4.5, 5 hour drive. So, your parents, your family can get to see you play live. And then, they're always on television as well. Plus, they're play North Texas all the time. So, that, man, congratulations on that. We had a chance to meet a couple years ago. The show came and did you guys' media day the first time we met, and to see you blossom into the player that you are today, man, it's kudos to your work ethic, kudos to what you guys do over at Nolan, strength and conditioning as well, and Coach Bowden and your coaching staff, man. And before we get out of here, talk about Coach Bowden and how he's been a mentor to you guys over there at Nolan.
Coach Bowden's a great guy. I can't say much about him, but honestly, he just honestly keeps it real with you. He wants the best for you. All the coaches there wants the best for you. They want to see you succeed. They always say that they failed their job if you're not successful in your future, and that's what always stuck to me. He's always going to be there for us, basically.
Now, over at Nolan, you guys have a high character code as well as in the classroom. Talk about how important it is to be a student as well as an athlete.
It's definitely it's always class first. We have this thing called IG where if you get zeros, you have to do punishment after school. So that
Woo.
definitely a lot of people that keep their grades up and stay on top of their work.
Well, definitely, Jaden, man. This is Jaden Burnett, defensive end, outside linebacker for Nolan Catholic High School. Is our epic player of the week here on your Mark show. Now, Jaden, go ahead and give your shout outs. This is the part of the show where you can kick your shout outs, give your social media out for everybody can check out some of your highlights. Your first half season highlights and cut ups, they fire. I looked at them, man. You're doing great, doing big things. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot some of that out here going into the weekend, man. And I appreciate you joining us here on your Mark show, man. Here on 104.5 RPWP, thepostradio.com. Kick your shout outs.
I want to shout out to my family members, my dad, my mom, my brother, my sister, and the Nolan Tactic Vikings. I want to shout out to my boy Jesus and Tyler.
All right, definitely, man. Check this young man out. Give him your Twitter where they can check you out as well.
My Twitter is Jaden JDAN Burnett 1.
All right, man. One of the top pass rushers in the state, man. Jaden Burnett, epic player of the week here on your Mark show. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with the next segment.